Shalom, Markham, this is Brother CHAARAWTAZA, GMSORLANDO, GMSFLORIDA. Alright, so we're not going to really do a sit down today. It's basically just some documentaries I'm going to go into that I watched last week. The reason I'm doing this is because I had brother asked me to put up the documentaries that I watch. You know, if I could give him the, whatever documentaries I watch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to, whenever I watch a documentary, just, get the clips from it, and get the clips from it and put it up on this on the video. So the first documentary I watch is Bambata, War of the Heads, 1906. And if you can find it, then whatever. But I got Hulu, so I watch it on Hulu. The other one was Lost Animals of the 20th Century, and that's like go by episodes, so they got a bunch of different episodes. And the last one is Making of the Rhino. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show a clip. Now I don't know if you guys seen the video from a week or two ago where we was going on proving that the so-called white man was Esau, and I kind of was talking a lot of stuff about colonial times and how they was hunting animals into extinction and all this shit like that, showing that Esau was a hunter and showing that this white man is a hunter. And a lot of the information that I was speaking about was coming from these documentaries that I had watched that day before I went to camp. So that's how the Most High works sometimes. You'll watch documentaries that day, and later on at camp, you'll go to teaching, and then that information just somehow gets infused with the scriptures. It's just how the Most High works, how He wants stuff to come out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just let the video play for a little while on certain parts that I thought was interesting, just so you can get a kind of preview about it, and I'll talk about it a little bit, and then we'll move on. Just try to make this video real quick. So the first one we're gonna do is Bambata, War of the Heads, 1906. Alright, this is talking about during the time of colonialism in South Africa. You had the Zulu, and you had going against the colonial powers, which is the so-called white man, and they had an uprising, and they're gonna talk about this uprising, some of the things that happened. So here you go.
The consequence of the defeat that followed for Africans was immense. Perhaps the greatest casualty was our African way of life, the way we worked and shared the land. After the murder of Ceshwayo, his rightful heir, Dinuzulu, was unable to stand up to the British. He was prevented from taking his place as king. Instead, he was exiled to St. Helena for opposing British annexation of Zululand. By the time of his return in 1897, the Zulu kingdom had been fully incorporated into the Natal colony. The authorities watched his every move, but to his people,
the Natal colony was the colony of the so-called white man, and basically he was taking over all the Zulu land. This is what he did all over the world, but it's just to explain it to you.
He would always be king. The undermining of Dinuzulu was felt very keenly by chiefs all over Natal, for his situation mirrored theirs. Some chiefs refused to stay quiet. Among them was Chief Bambata. The land that had been set aside for Bambata's Zondi people was decreased without their consent, as the Mvoti area was opened up to settlement by white farmers. By the 1890s, many of the Zondi were living on white farms, and these farmers were now demanding rents. In addition, the government was trying to impose how many cattle African people could own. The result, our young men forced to seek paid work in the white economy. Each advancement of the white settler on our territory was permanently erasing our African communal life under the Amakosi, the very basis of our survival as an independent people.
Alright, so that's basically all I'm going to show right there. But basically, as you can see, just like the so-called white man came to America, he did the same thing to the so-called Native American Indians, which we call it the Northern Kingdom of Israel. He did the same thing all over the world. So he went over there to South Africa and he took these people's land and he took their cattle and told them that they couldn't keep cattle anymore. He made a law. And then he made them start working for him, basically put them in slavery. So that's what this documentary is about. These South Africans, they had an uprising and they fought against the so-called white man. And that's what this documentary is about. So moving on. Alright, so this next one is Lost Animals of the 20th Century. It's a series, so there's a bunch of episodes. This is episode 4, but you know, I just watched different episodes of it at different times. Basically, this goes into animals that went extinct in the 20th century. Basically, it goes into how Esau, being the cunning hunter that he is, the so-called white man, you know, how he went into the different places, different continents, and colonized it. And he basically hunted a lot of the animals into extinction. He basically hunted them until there was none left. Alright? So this is what this is about to go into. And this is talking about this lion over in India that this so-called white man hunted into extinction. So I'm going to let that play.
Often fall prey to the tiger, their fear magnified when the grisly tale was reenacted in the village puppet theatre. The Bali tiger, like this Indian tiger, was truly king of the jungle, until the colonial Europeans arrived with guns. Now the tiger was no longer tolerated. Seen as a man-eating pest, it was persecuted without mercy, and uncontrolled hunting by both Dutch colonials and local people became rife. Tiger hunting became fashionable. The excuse of eradicating a major predator was soon matched by the rise of the skin and trophy market. Like these tigers hunted in India, the beautiful Bali tiger skin proved irresistible to the discerning European. Nor could the Bali tiger resist the ever-increasing market for tiger parts in Taiwan. This modern trade had put them beyond salvation. Of the 8 subspecies of tiger, there are now only 5. The remaining populations are all endangered. It is feared that the last wild tigers of the world will be gone by the year 2000. What we know for sure is that the Bali tiger has already gone. The last population of Bali tigers lived in the western forests of the island. There, the last tiger was shot at Sumba Kema on the 27th of September, 1937.
Right, so that's that. It also had a this also had a, you know, it was going into this certain zebra that lived in South Africa, that the so-called white man, no, maybe we just put that on too.
Burchell's zebra had bold, heavy wraparound striping with several variations. These included reversal of the pattern black on white or white on black. On the South African veldt, zebras formed a triple alliance with ostriches and wildebeest. The wildebeest's power of smell and the bird's sharp eyesight combined well with the zebra's acute hearing these were a powerful combination for survival. But Boer settlers, with their guns, moved to the Orange Free State and hunted the vast herds for their juicy meat. The hides, being both strong and lightweight, were used for sacks. But the zebra was also utilized in other, more unusual ways. In the 1830s, there was a brief fashion for unusual draft animals, and among the most exotic were the Burchell zebra. Unfortunately for the Burchell zebra, men quickly recognized the utility and beauty of their skins, and a large commercial hide market developed. In many cases, hunters found that they could make more money from animal hides than they could from farming. By the 1850s, the newly introduced technology of stripping and tanning hides by chemical processes made them hugely profitable. Mass destruction of these seemingly endless herds of zebra began in the 1840s. The slaughter went on unabated for 30 years, despite the attention of early conservationists. By 1870, all the big herds of Burchell zebras had gone. There were only small groups left in the wild. A few Boer landowners kept captive herds, and some were taken to zoos. The last Burchell zebra died in London Zoo in Regent's Park in 1910. It had spent most of its life in captivity.
Alright, so that's, you see the lion, you see the tiger and the zebra that went extinct. So that's what that, that show is about. Alright, so this is the last show. It's called Milking the Rhino. It's made in 2008. And it's basically, it goes with two tribes of people. It looks at the Himba tribe, which is I think South Africa, and then it goes with the Maasai tribe, which is Central South Africa, which I believe the Maasai tribe to be the real Egyptians, but hey, whatever. But basically what it goes into is these tribes of people, they basically trying to conserve the animals around there. And also the so-called white man is going in there trying, after he went and killed off all these different animals in Africa and then all these other different continents. Now he's in Africa talking about some conservation to conserve the animals. And then they built the tourism market around conserving the animals. That's why it's named Milking the Rhino, because it's like, they making money off of these rhinos that's going extinct. So I found this to be funny. So this is why I played this part, because this Maasai guy, he's talking about the first time he's seen a so-called white person, and he's talking about that at this moment. But you can watch the documentary for yourself to see the whole thing. But here it is.
The thing is, there wasn't another lodge which is like Kilingwezi, that I would say, yes, that's where we are going to. We didn't know anything about tourism. We didn't know how to run it. I tell you, when we started, I couldn't tell a white lady or a man, whenever they are sitting, they are not speaking, and if you've shaved, I couldn't tell the difference.
Seeing a pink person, it's like, who is this pink person? Yeah. It doesn't have a skin. If you know that this is all blood or pink thing, maybe somebody skinned it. So you're like even worried about the pink skin.
Guests would come here and they tell us what they want us to do, because we didn't know what to do with it. If there was a party somewhere, we could just go. We didn't know why be there. They can help themselves. It's not our Maasai way of life that a man would go and cook for women.
What is on the menu? What are we going to have for breakfast?
For breakfast?
That was totally against our culture.
Welcome back here. No, kile Kenya kama.
Unajua vile wewe kile Kenya. Kile Kenya. Wewe nakula ile kina mama amekushata hivi. We learned what a menu is and what is supposed to go with what. And now if we plan a menu, we have to know how much it costs, what are we getting. What's
Alright, so that's the 3 documentaries right there. So, you know, you can watch the documentaries if you can find them on, probably can find them on YouTube, or you can download them somewhere, or you can go, you know, however you can find the documentaries. But those are 3 documentaries that I watch, you know, and ain't much else to say about it. So with that, CHAARAWTAZA, all praise to YAHAWASHI, double honor to the elders. My elders are great millstone. Peace and blessings to all the brothers out there teaching the truth and sincerity. And with that, I say YAHAWASHI, Barakatham, Shalom, Akim.